Hi, welcome to my super short video introducing what data is and why it matters. Data matters because it is, at least we hope and fantasize, condensed information about something in which we're interested. Yes, I mean we fantasize about data whether we want to or not, and even whether we know it or not. That's because anytime we want to know more about things around us, whether it's coworkers or clients, customers or competitors, we have assumptions about information. We might fantasize or make unstated assumptions about things like data's availability, reliability, currency, or its utility or validity. I'll spend a few seconds on each of those to illustrate what I mean. Data availability seems like it might not be a big deal, but it is. Some data are hard to get. They're either expensive to obtain, they could be labor intensive to obtain, very time consuming. And they may or may not be worth that effort or cost. Reliability of data is almost always an issue when you're dealing with a substantial data set. There's almost always some level of pollution with missing or invalid values that might come in from data entry typos or from archaic values that no longer are relevant to a process that is being described. It could be from default values. When data gets moved from one database to the next, sometimes null values get converted to some default value. So for example, in Texas Tech, there are a multitude of students who have a birth date of January 1st, 1900 from that type of error. Missing data is another issue that pollutes a data set and degrades reliability. That can be from a data management error, or it could be from a poor managerial decision slightly more often, where a manager assumes that we no longer will need that information and carves out a portion of what you find out that you need later. So there's a multitude of reasons why data can lose reliability. And most often there's no competing forces that make the data higher quality. That's related to the next point about currency. This concept is straightforward. Just like how money has a time value, information captured as data also has a time value, and it tends to depreciate over time. Lastly, I'm interchangeably using these terms utility and validity. Data may be current, reliable, available, and yet still useless for making decisions. For example, if you're looking at a high quality future spouse, you're looking for a high quality future spouse, you might have access to a database that describes all potential spouses' eye color. Let's say you've hacked a dating app. I'm not recommending that, but let's say you've got that kind of database. It might be super precise using a multitude of different categories for eye color, which are captured really well for every participant and might be current since eye color doesn't tend to change that much over time. Still, that data is going to be useless for your particular needs of selecting a high quality spouse. So that's what I'm getting at with a validity issue or utility for decision making. That's a bit about data in a different way perhaps than you've thought about it before. Data is not just numbers in a table, it's the storage of information that's condensed from reality. That means it's an incomplete model of some external reality. Please try to understand it at this abstract level, because doing so is going to help you apply data concepts to solving problems differently than you have in the past. And in general, keep that concept of model in mind throughout this class, because it'll be useful and it's going to come up again repeatedly. Thanks.